All right, I'm going to show you 2 pictures. One of these is Dobrev, the other is Emmanuelle Chriqui. You've got 3 seconds to figure out which is which. Time's up. If you got it wrong, don't feel bad. Directors on movie sets have made the same mistake. Today, we're counting down 20 celebrity lookalikes so identical, they've fooled families, co-stars, and even Lady Gaga at the Oscars. These are the pairs you've been screaming about in the comments. And trust me, number 1 is going to absolutely blow your mind. Let's jump in.
People are recognizing you as Ed Sheeran, which is understandable.
Let's kick things off with 2 famous British redheads who have been dealing with this mix-up for years. We're talking about global music sensation Ed Sheeran and the beloved Ron Weasley himself, Rupert Grint from Harry Potter. Now, this isn't just a passing resemblance that fans noticed once or twice. This has become such a running joke that they actually decided to lean into it in the most hilarious way possible. Rupert starred in Ed's music video for Lego House, where he played an obsessive superfan version of Sheeran. The whole video was built around their uncanny similarity, and it was absolute genius. But here's the kicker. In an interview with James Corden, Rupert admitted that when fans approach him on the street, it's basically a coin flip. About 50% of the time, people think he's Ron Weasley, and the other 50% think he's Ed Sheeran. And you know what? He just goes with it. The shaggy ginger hair, the smile, the build. These 2 really do look like they could be brothers.
Nina has another doppelganger that no one ever talks about. Emmanuelle Chriqui.
All right, this next one is a bit of a sleeper hit because not enough people talk about it, but once you see it, you can't unsee it. We're comparing Dobrev, who became a massive star playing Elena on The Vampire Diaries, and Emmanuelle Chriqui, best known for her role as Sloane on Entourage. The resemblance here is striking. They both have those captivating dark eyes, similar smiles, and an overall elegance that makes them stand out. What's wild is that tons of fans have been confusing these 2 for years without even realizing it. Comments online are filled with people saying stuff like, "Wait, I've been mixing them up my whole life and only just realized they're different people." It's one of those comparisons that flies under the radar, but once you notice it, it's impossible to ignore. They could absolutely pass for sisters, maybe even twins. Here's a pairing that should honestly be way more famous than it is. Leighton Meester from Gossip Girl and Minka Kelly from Friday Night Lights look so much alike. It's actually scary. Same face shape, similar eyes, nearly identical smiles. If you put them side by side and change their hairstyles, good luck figuring out who's who. The resemblance became even more obvious when they starred together in a psychological thriller called The Roommate. The movie literally used their similar looks as part of the plot, with Kelly playing a college student whose obsessed roommate, played by Meester, tries to take over her life. The casting was genius because their doppelganger status made the whole thing even creepier. Fans have been demanding this comparison get more attention, and honestly, they're right. These 2 are one of the strongest lookalike pairs out there. But the confusion we just saw, that's nothing compared to what's coming at number 17, where even the internet couldn't agree if they were looking at one person or 2.
You and Gene Wilder, is that like, oh, Jesus, or like, oh, I see it, that's kind of funny?
I see it, for sure, and I love Gene Wilder.
Now we're getting into some really fascinating territory with a cross-generational comparison that absolutely exploded on the internet. We're talking about Jeremy Allen White, the star of the hit show The Bear, and the legendary comedic genius Gene Wilder. If you've seen both of them, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The resemblance is uncanny. That wild, curly hair, those incredibly expressive eyes, and a grin that can shift from charming to chaotic in half a second. It's like Gene Wilder's energy got reincarnated in a modern, angst-ridden chef. Fans have pointed out that White's intense performance as Carmy in The Bear feels like what Willy Wonka would be like if he ran a stressful kitchen instead of a magical chocolate factory. The internet went absolutely wild over this comparison, with thousands of people saying White would be the perfect choice to play Wilder in a biopic. And you know what? Jeremy himself has acknowledged the constant comparisons and takes it as a massive compliment, given how legendary Wilder was. It's one of those resemblances that feels almost too perfect to be a coincidence. If you grew up watching Full House or Glee, this one's going to hit you. Darren Criss, who became a breakout star on Glee, looks like he could be the younger version of John Stamos, the eternally charming Uncle Jesse. They both have that classic heartthrob look with the thick, dark hair, perfect smiles, and expressive eyebrows. There's also something about their energy. They're both incredibly charismatic and approachable, and they've both shown off their musical talents throughout their careers. Fans have noticed for years that Criss basically embodies the same 90s heartthrob persona that Stamos Stamos perfected decades ago. Put them in the same hairstyle, and they could genuinely pass for father and son, maybe even brothers, if you squint a little. It's a timeless resemblance that spans generations. Here's a pair that has basically dominated a very specific type of role in Hollywood. We're talking about the wonderfully talented Stanley Tucci and the equally impressive Mark Strong. These two actors share a commanding presence, an intense gaze, and of course, their signature bald heads, which have become iconic parts of their on-screen personas. The resemblance goes beyond just looks, though. They both gravitate towards similar roles: suave villains, sophisticated spies, intimidating authority figures. Whether it's Tucci in The Devil Wears Prada or The Hunger Games, or Strong in the Kingsman series and Shazam, they both bring this level of class and intelligence to everything they do. The sleek, polished look they share makes them one of the most distinguished pairs of doppelgangers in the business. You could easily see them playing brothers in a spy thriller, and nobody would question it for a second. And that's only number 15. Wait until you see who's at number 12. Their resemblance actually caused a crisis on a movie set.
But you often get mistaken for Ralph Fiennes.
Yes, I do.
Now we've got two absolute giants of cinema who not only share incredible talent, but also a strikingly similar appearance. Ralph Fiennes and Liam Neeson both have this tall, commanding presence, sharp facial features, and an intensity that's made them perfect for dramatic, action-packed roles. Their careers even famously intersected in one of the most powerful films ever made, Schindler's List. Neeson played the heroic Oscar Schindler, while Fiennes delivered a chilling performance as the terrifying Amon Goth. Seeing them together in that film really highlighted just how similar they look. The sharp jawlines, the piercing eyes, it's all there. Over the years, fans have pointed out that you could easily picture Fiennes as the hero in a Taken-style action thriller, or Neeson playing a complex villain like Voldemort, and both would absolutely nail it. They're two of the most respected actors of their generation, and their physical resemblance just adds another fascinating layer to their intertwined Hollywood legacies.
Oh, years ago, you thought that I was in traffic. Mom, you did not give birth to Tandy Newton.
This is one of those celebrity mix-ups that happens so frequently, it's become a running joke, and it's even confused their own families. We're talking about Zoe Saldaña, the powerhouse behind Avatar and Guardians of the Galaxy, and the brilliant Thandiwe Newton from Westworld and Mission Impossible. With their elegant bone structure and delicate facial features, you'd be completely forgiven for thinking they're sisters. But here's where it gets absolutely hilarious. Saldaña has shared multiple stories about the confusion, and the best one involves her own mother. She told Craig Ferguson on The Late Late Show that her mom constantly thinks she's watching Zoe in Westworld, and Zoe has to keep reminding her, "Mom, you did not give birth to Thandiwe Newton," and it doesn't stop with family. Victoria Beckham once mistook Newton for Saldaña at a Soul Cycle class, which is pretty incredible. Eventually, the two actresses met in person and bonded over their doppelganger status, becoming friends in the process. It's one of those resemblances that's so strong. Even the people who should know better get fooled. All right, this is the one everyone in the comments has been screaming about. How did we not include this in the first video? We're talking about Samara Weaving, the Australian actress from Ready or Not and The Babysitter, and Margot Robbie, the global superstar behind Barbie and Harley Quinn. The resemblance here isn't just strong, it's borderline impossible. They're both Australian, they both have that same stunning blonde look, similar facial structure, and an effortless charm that lights up the screen. Fans were absolutely convinced they were the same person for years. The craziest part, they actually worked together in the movie Babylon, and seeing them in the same scenes was like witnessing a glitch in the Matrix. People who watched the movie had to do double takes to figure out who was who. The director even had moments of confusion on set, calling the wrong actress by the wrong name. Samara herself has talked about being mistaken for Margot countless times, and honestly, it makes total sense. These two could legitimately be twins separated at birth. If Hollywood ever needs a backup for Margot, Samara is right there, ready to go. But here's the thing, we're only at number 12, and it gets even wilder. The pair at number 10 fooled Jeffrey Dean Morgan himself. Before we continue, I need to tell you something. My best friend actually bet me I couldn't hit 50,000 subscribers talking about Hollywood secrets. He thinks nobody cares. If you're enjoying this and want to help me prove him wrong, hit that subscribe button. It takes 1 second.
A lot of people hand me this. There's one particular photo of Matt Bomer.
All right, let's get back to it because number 11 is going to have Superman fans losing their minds. We're talking about Henry Cavill, aka Superman himself, and Matt Bomer, the insanely charming star of White Collar and Magic Mike. Both of these guys have chiseled jawlines that could cut glass, piercing blue eyes, and perfectly styled dark hair that makes them look like they stepped right out of a classic movie. The resemblance is so strong that before Cavill was cast as Superman, Matt Bomer was actually a huge fan favorite choice for the role. People were practically begging for him to put on the cape. Fans have pointed out for years that Bomer could easily pass as Cavill's brother, maybe even his twin if they were styled the same way. They both have this timeless, elegant appeal that feels like it belongs in a different era. Put them in the same tuxedo, and good luck telling them apart. They're basically Hollywood's definition of ruggedly handsome, ×2. Here's a pair that shares not just a similar look, but also a rugged, intense, and absolutely smoldering screen presence. We're talking about Jeffrey Dean Morgan from The Walking Dead and the Spanish superstar Javier Bardem, known for his Oscar-winning role in No Country for Old Men. The scruffy beards, the deep-set eyes, the charismatic yet intimidating smiles. These two are practically mirror images of each other. Both actors have made careers out of playing complex anti-heroes and unforgettable villains. You could easily imagine Morgan giving a chilling performance like Bardem's Anton Chigurh, or Bardem wielding Negan's barbed wire bat, and both would be absolutely terrifying. The comparison has been a hot topic among fans for years, and depending on the angle or the lighting, they become almost impossible to tell apart. It's one of those resemblances that makes you wonder if there's some kind of secret family connection nobody's talking about. Either way, they're one of Hollywood's most ruggedly handsome sets of doppelgangers. This is the comparison that has had movie fans doing serious double takes for years. Logan Marshall Green and Tom Hardy look so ridiculously similar that people have nicknamed them the separated at birth twins of Hollywood. It's not just a vague resemblance. We're talking about the same facial structure, the same lip shape, the same intense brooding stare that both of them use to perfection on screen. Marshall Green, known for Prometheus and Upgrade, and Hardy, the star of Venom and Mad Max, Fury Road, also share a similar taste for gritty, complex roles that require serious intensity. The similarities are so strong that fans have admitted they often have to double-check the cast list just to be sure which actor they're actually watching. When both of them have beards and similar hairstyles, which happens a lot given the types of roles they land, it becomes nearly impossible to tell them apart. This is one of the most startlingly accurate lookalike pairs in the entire industry. Now let's talk about Amy Adams and Isla Fisher. These two actresses have been mixed up so many times. They've both got hilarious stories about it. They share that vibrant red hair, sparkling eyes, and infectious smiles that light up every scene they're in. The confusion has been going on for years. Isla Fisher once pranked her own family by pasting Amy Adams' face over her own on their holiday card, and nobody in her family even noticed. Think about that for a second. Her own family couldn't tell the difference. But the best story comes from an Oscars after party. Lady Gaga approached Isla Fisher and started gushing about her incredible performance in American Hustle. The only problem? That was Amy Adams' movie, not Isla's. But Fisher, not wanting to embarrass Lady Gaga, just smiled and accepted the compliment until the real Amy Adams walked by. Fisher has joked about it, saying that if Confessions of a Shopaholic was a hit, it was definitely her. But if it flopped, that was Amy Adams. It's one of the most delightful celebrity mix-ups out there, and both actresses have embraced it with grace and humor. That's number 8, and things are about to get even crazier, because number 7 led to a charity drum-off that broke the internet. This might be the single most hilarious and unexpected doppelganger situation in Hollywood history. For years, fans pointed out the uncanny resemblance between comedy legend Will Ferrell and Chad Smith, the drummer for the Red Hot Chili Peppers. They have the same facial structure, similar expressions, and an overall goofy energy that makes them look like they were literally separated at birth. The comparison became so popular that it led to one of the greatest moments in late-night TV history. After years of playful feuding online, Ferrell and Smith finally faced off in a charity drum battle on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon to settle once and for all who the real Chad Smith was. They showed up in completely identical outfits, and the audience went absolutely wild trying to figure out who was who. The drum-off that followed was chaotic, hilarious, and raised a ton of money for charity. It perfectly captured how much fun both of them have had with this comparison over the years, and it cemented their status as the ultimate celebrity lookalikes. This is one of the most talked about lookalike pairs of recent years, and for good reason. We're talking about Barbie superstar Margot Robbie and Education's breakout star, Emma Mackey. The resemblance is so strong that for a while, huge portions of the internet were convinced they were the same person. They share high cheekbones, strong jawlines, and captivating smiles that make them look like they could absolutely be sisters. Margot has mentioned being mistaken for Emma by fans, and she's always gracious about it, just smiling and saying thank you. The ultimate nod to their twin-like status came when Emma was cast in the Barbie movie alongside Margot. Director Greta Gerwig and Margot originally planned planned to include a joke in the film about their resemblance, poking fun at how similar they look. But once they were actually in costume together on set, they felt like the difference was clear enough that the joke wouldn't land as well, so they decided to cut it. Still, fans absolutely lost their minds seeing them in the same movie, and the comparisons have only gotten stronger since then, and we're getting close to the top now. Number 5 involves a legendary director who couldn't even recognize his own daughter. Here's another iconic redhead duo that has been causing double takes in Hollywood for over a decade. Jessica Chastain and Bryce Dallas Howard look so much alike that even their own family members have gotten them confused. And we're talking about some pretty famous family members here. The most legendary story comes from Bryce's father, the iconic director Ron Howard. He once saw Jessica Chastain in an Apple store and did a complete double take, convinced for a moment that he'd just spotted his daughter. He even mentioned it to a friend before realizing it wasn't actually Bryce. Both actresses have fully embraced the confusion with great humor. They finally got to share the screen in the 2011 film The Help, and they've said that at the first table read, they immediately went to a mirror together to check out the resemblance for themselves. They've even made funny videos online to help fans tell them apart, which only made everyone love them more. They're Hollywood's favorite identical but totally unrelated redheads, and the mix-ups show no signs of slowing down. Rounding out our top section are two absolute legends of Hollywood who have been dealing with mistaken identity for most of their incredible, decades-long careers. We're talking about Susan Sarandon and Sigourney Weaver, two powerhouse actresses who have played some of the most iconic roles in cinematic history. Both of them possess this commanding presence, strong facial features, and a fierce intelligence that has defined every character they've played. From Alien to Thelma and Louise, they've both portrayed unforgettable, strong women who refuse to be pushed around. They get confused for one another so often that they've developed a fantastic sense of humor about it. At the 2016 Glamour Women of the Year Awards, they even took the stage together to set the record straight once and for all. They jokingly clarified who was who and which movies they'd actually been in, which had the audience roaring with laughter. It was a perfect moment between two icons who've been mistaken for each other for far too long. We're almost at the top 3 now, and what's coming is absolutely insane. Number 2 involves two literal warriors who look like they were cloned.
The two Big Joes just met.
Big Joe, baby.
Now we're getting into the absolute powerhouses. We're talking about Aquaman star Jason Momoa and WWE superstar Roman Reigns, whose real name is Joe Anoa'i. If you put these two next to each other, they look like they could be from the same warrior tribe. The resemblance is undeniable. Both men share Samoan heritage, with towering physical presence, long flowing dark hair, and similar beard styles that give them this incredible, intimidating look. The comparison has been a massive topic among wrestling and movie fans for years. Momoa himself has acknowledged the resemblance, saying people bring it up all the time. Roman Reigns has also had fun with it. There's a story about him being at a WWE event when a fan shouted that they loved him in Aquaman. Reigns jokingly fired back, "Come on now, that movie would have made way more money if I was in it."
Roman, I loved you in Aquaman!
The two finally met in person, and seeing them together was like witnessing a glitch in reality. They're both absolute units, and their resemblance is one of the most physically imposing doppelganger comparisons out there.
I've done quite a few films in French, but usually smaller roles, so this is a big challenge for me.
These two Oscar-winning actresses were absolute titans of 90s cinema, and for a huge portion of moviegoers, they were practically interchangeable. Helen Hunt and Jodie Foster share a striking resemblance, especially during their younger years, with similar face shapes and this intellectual, intense energy on screen. The confusion has been a running theme in Helen Hunt's life for decades. She's shared multiple stories on talk shows about being mistaken for Jodie Foster, and one of the most famous incidents involved a supermarket cashier who was about to give her a free Thanksgiving turkey because he thought she was Jodie Foster. Helen went along with it for a bit before finally admitting the truth. More recently, she shared a hilarious story on Twitter about a Starbucks barista who gave her a knowing wink and said, "We gotcha," before handing her a cup with Jodie written on it. It's a classic Hollywood mix-up between two incredibly talented actresses, and it's been going on for so long that it's basically part of their legacies at this point. And now, we've reached number 1. This is the pair that's taken over the internet, where one person's resemblance launched an entire career, and here we are at number 1, with a comparison that takes us into the world of social media and viral fame. We're talking about Marvel icon Scarlett Johansson and TikTok star Kate Shumskaya, whose resemblance to Scarlett has made her a legitimate internet celebrity. Shumskia went absolutely viral for her uncanny likeness to the Black Widow actress, and we're not talking about a passing resemblance. She looks so much like Scarlett that she's gained millions of followers who are completely blown away by the similarities. Kate has perfected Scarlett's signature look and often cosplays as her most famous characters, especially Black Widow, which only enhances the doppelganger effect. She said that people have been pointing out the resemblance since she was young, but the internet took it to a whole new level. Here's where it gets a bit dark though. Shumskaya has mentioned that because of how much she looks like Scarlett, she's received misdirected online criticism that was actually meant for Johansson. It's a modern downside to the lookalike phenomenon that nobody really talks about. When you look too much like someone famous, you can inherit their enemies too. Still, her resemblance to one of Hollywood's biggest stars has opened doors and created opportunities she never imagined. It's a wild example of how powerful a celebrity lookalike situation can be in the age of social media. So there you have it, 20 pairs that prove doppelgangers are absolutely real and thriving in Hollywood. Here's what blows my mind though. We've got 8 billion people walking around this planet, but science says there are only so many ways our genes can combine to create a unique face, which means your twin is probably out there somewhere, living their life, and you might never even meet them. But in Hollywood, they somehow all end up in the same place, working in the same industry. Coincidence? Maybe. Weird? Absolutely. Now I want to hear from you. Which pair had you doing the biggest double take? Were you one of the people who's been mixing up Samara Weaving and Margot Robbie this whole time? Drop a comment and let me know which lookalike shocked you the most. And if you think these resemblances are insane, you need to see the video I just dropped about celebrity kids who look exactly like their famous parents. I'm talking about genetic photocopies that'll make you question reality. That video is on your screen right now. Tap it and prepare to have your mind blown all over again. And hey, if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that button so you never miss the next wild Hollywood mystery. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.